Ladies and gentlemen, it's worse than we thought. It's way worse. Now, you're being told everything is fine, that China's just another trading partner, that Joe Biden, he's just a little forgetful. But the truth is, guys, the truth is, in fact, rather terrifying, because just this week, confirmation dropped that Chinese-made solar panels installed across America might be wired with something called kill switches. That's right, guys. Kill switches, devices that can remotely shut down your home, your power grid from Beijing. And while you're digesting that, get this, guys, Secret Service agents are now leaking what they've been seeing behind the scenes with Biden, and it's horrifying. So not only is the former president allegedly getting lost inside of his own closet in the White House, but we now have sitting members of Congress saying that he was signing executive orders that he didn't even understand. He signed an executive order helping Putin and didn't even know it. Let that sink in, guys. And what the media is saying, oh, everything's fine. That Joe Biden is good to go. But what's Biden saying? Well, he wasn't saying much of anything. In fact, he wasn't saying anything because he doesn't even know what's happening around him. This guy is so incoherent. So today I want to share with you guys exactly how China managed to embed itself in our energy systems, why Joe Biden's denial might not be denial. It might be just pure cognitive collapse. And of course, the desperate cover-ups by Democrats and legacy media to keep this charade thing going. Stick with me, guys, because by the end of today's video, you're going to see exactly why this is no longer just a political debate. This is actually going into the level of national security emergency status. So I want to start with what's being called this kill switch crisis. You may have heard of it, but for years, patriots, national security experts, they've warned about one thing and one thing only: dependence on Chinese technology. It's a problem. But now we've got confirmation that Chinese manufactured solar panels may contain embedded kill switches. This is not theoretical, guys. This is not hypothetical. Real machines, mechanisms that could allow the CCP to shut your power off, to shut off your grid, your home. Think about that, right? You spent thousands of dollars to go off grid. You thought you were safe. You thought you were independent, secure, but it turns out you just handed China a remote control to your roof. And folks, this is not just speculation. Even mainstream financial analysts and energy researchers are quietly sounding alarms. These switches could allow a foreign government to disable your solar system during a time of conflict, sabotage, or even cyber warfare. But here's the kicker. Congress knew. They've been warned for years. Now, do you remember when Congress sounded the alarm about the cranes at our ports? You guys remember that? Specifically, a lot of the cranes that were in California during the whole supply chain crisis during the pandemic. Yeah, the massive ones that unload everything from vehicles to electronics. Well, guys, turns out most of those cranes were manufactured by ZPMC, a Chinese state-owned company. So here's what they left out during those flashy photo ops and ribbon cuttings. Those cranes are equipped with sensors, GPS systems, data uplinks, tools that can be accessed remotely. Now, let me ask you this, guys. If China can build the machines that control our ports, if they can make the panels that control our homes, then what makes you think that they haven't already mapped our systems? This isn't some spy novel, guys. This is a real world soft war, and Americans are only just now realizing how far the infiltration has gone. So, and then out of nowhere, Apple hits every iPhone in the world with an emergency alert. Update to iOS 18.5 immediately, they said, right? Not tonight, not this week, immediately. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this is not normal behavior from Apple, right? Now, usually updates, they roll out quietly. You get a ping, maybe you ignore it for a few days, you update on your own time. But this one came with urgency. And what's buried in this update? Well, we don't know, and they won't say. Now, let me ask you guys, do you have an iPhone or do you have an Android phone? Let me know in the comments down below. And let me also ask you, what do you think about these updates? Do you prefer not to get the updates or to at least have the choice to choose which updates you accept? Drop me a comment down below, guys. But here's what we do know. Apple, like most tech giants, they rely heavily on Chinese supply chains. Multiple reports over the last 2 years have exposed concerns over microchips and firmware shipped from overseas that carry hidden vulnerabilities or even worse, exploits. So when Apple says update now, the question really becomes update to protect you or to patch something that they failed to secure before China could use it. Like, which is it? And look, if our phones can be exploited, then what else is vulnerable, right, guys? Like, are you feeling like your Medicaid plan is draining your wallet? If you are, you're not alone. Leslie Taylor, she was in the same spot up until she called Chapter. Now she's saving $1,000 a year. Sharon Bertusik, she lost her Medicare coverage. Guys, to lose Medicaid coverage, this can be very painful for certain folks. But Chapter stepped in. They got her on a new plan with no premiums, no medication costs, and a copay that dropped from $89 to $20. Guys, that sounds like winning to me. Oh, and Chapter's advisors, they don't work for insurance companies. They work for you, and they're totally free. They don't charge you a dime. Give our friends at Chapter a call right now. Their phone number is 909-563-8279, or better yet, go to their website right now at askchapter.org/Ron and let me know how much money you were able to save thanks to Chapter. I love hearing you guys' success stories. So you ever notice how certain websites, big ones, just go down for no reason? Like, have you ever asked yourself, like, why internet providers suddenly experience widespread outages that affect hospitals, airports, and even these defense contractors? Well, it's not a glitch, folks. It's a pattern. And that pattern points in one direction: China and Russia. So here's what we're seeing. U.S. infrastructure being probed, short-term outages followed by silence, cyber forensics quietly identifying state-backed hackers in our networks, and yet no national address, no press conference, no alerts from the Biden White House or anything like that back, when he was president. Because what's worse than being hacked? Admitting that your own country's been compromised on your watch. Now, this isn't just about Wi-Fi going down. This is about China possibly having access to your power grids, communication networks, and yes, even transportation infrastructure. So the question becomes, has the attack already happened and we just haven't felt it yet? Let me know, guys. What do you think? Have we already been attacked and we haven't felt it yet, or is the attack coming? Let me know in the comments down below. So we got China potentially wired into our energy and our internet, right? But the real blackout, it's happening in the White House. A Secret Service whistleblower just came forward and dropped a bombshell. And brace yourself, guys, because this is not satire. This agent was personally assigned to protect Joe Biden. And here's what he said. He said, Joe used to get lost in his own closet. Let me repeat that, guys. The commander-in-chief, the man with the nuclear codes, couldn't find his way out of a closet in the morning. And this isn't 3 a.m. in some basement. This is inside the White House residence. And while Joe was stumbling around looking for the door, his staff was running the country. That's not leadership. That's a weekend at Bernie's. So when the CCP is embedding kill switches or hijacking our networks, what's Joe doing? He was fumbling through hangars and thinking he's in Delaware. What in the world is going on here, folks? Now, probably one of the most chilling revelations yet, a sitting congressman confronted Joe Biden about why he paused LNG exports to Europe, a move that weakened our allies and strengthened Vladimir Putin. You know what Biden said about that? Oh, I didn't do that. Except he actually did do that. It was literally an executive order he signed. It had his name on it, his signature, his approval, and yet he had no idea. Genuinely, he looked shocked. Now, put yourself in that moment. You're the president of the United States. You're asked about a major foreign policy decision, and you have no memory of authorizing it. Folks, this is not just forgetfulness. This is a national security level incompetence. And guess what? That order directly impacts our energy leverage against China and Russia, the two nations where we've been, confirmed or probing our systems and watching our every move. Now, I want to ask you guys this. Do you think Joe Biden was simply incoherent and didn't remember, or just completely incompetent? Or do you think it was someone in the White House using the auto pen and Biden never actually signed it himself? Let me know which one you think it is here. Now, over and over, guys, I've heard you say it. I feel trapped. The job, the schedule, the paycheck that barely stretches far enough to breathe. And you know what, guys? You're right to feel that way, because it is a trap. The 9-to-5 system was never built for your freedom. It was built for your obedience. And so this is why I created the Liberty Pursuit Network. This is a real path out, a blueprint for building income streams that put you in control. Because if you don't control your time, well, you don't control your life. This isn't just a program. This is the lockpick. This is a map for getting out of the system the way they never wanted you to question. They never wanted you to question the system, guys. Now, the only question now is, are you walking through the door? So if you want to join us, the time is now. I'll leave a link for the Liberty Pursuit Network, link in the description down below, and join the others that are escaping the rat race and exiting the system. All right, guys. So here's where it all starts to unravel, even for the Democrats. Now, according to this new book, a sitting Democrat senator from Colorado went to a Biden event in June of 2024 and left that evening thinking, this guy can't manage anything. He even described Joe Biden as completely non-functioning. And here's the key line. That's why immigration policy is a disaster, because Biden's not involved. Now let that sink in, guys. Not some Republican firebrand saying it. One of Joe Biden's own guys quietly admitting that this man is not running the country. And guess what? He's not alone. Sources are saying competing factions are running things behind the scenes because Joe's checked out. He's not leading. He's not briefing. He's not questioning. He's not a part of anything. So this is not just a bad president anymore, guys. This is a dangerous vacuum of at the very top of the U.S. government, right? And at the same exact moment, China is gaining ground. So first up, Slick Willie himself, Bill Clinton, just came out and said, no, I never saw any cognitive decline in Joe. He was always on top of his briefs. Now, folks, guys, either Billy's, Billy or Bill, however you want to refer to Clinton, either Bill's lying through his teeth or he's still living in the 90s. Which is it? You expect us to believe that while Secret Service agents were watching Joe get stuck in his closet, while senators say he's out of it, Bill Clinton is like, everything looked fine? Give me a break. Anybody else buying this crap? And then we got Chuck Todd, NBC's former political director, finally telling the truth. He says the problem wasn't the press. It was the Biden administration and the Democratic Party leadership that lied to the American people. Chuck says it straight. No journalist is better than their sources. The party lied. Wow. So even the media insiders are now admitting we got played. We ran cover for a man that wasn't fit for office, and now the country is paying the price. That's what they're saying. So now we need to talk about this whole pressure cooker that's building overseas, because Trump is back and China's economy is cracking. Now, just weeks ago, President Trump doubled tariffs on Chinese steel and aluminum to 50%, and the ripple effect has been brutal. Guys, we're talking layoffs, factory shutdowns, Beijing injecting massive cash into their own system just to keep the lights on. Does this sound familiar? It's exactly what the U.S. had to do during COVID. But here is why this matters. When authoritarian regimes get cornered, like when they get boxed in economically, they lash out. And now analysts are warning China could retaliate not with missiles, but with malware, with kill switches, cyber strikes, system takeovers. They don't need to invade. They already built the back door. And with Biden stumbling around and pretending nothing's happening, who would be there to stop him, right? And so when the Biden White House is dodging questions and chasing its own tail, the Pentagon, they made it very clear. We are prepared to defend against aggression from the People's Republic of China. Now, they didn't drop this on prime time. They didn't hold a press conference with flags waving and general saluting. They issued it quietly on a weekday, buried in some briefing notes, because they know what we're up against. A hostile nation with access to our tech, a weak former president, Joe Biden, who couldn't lead, and a growing public who's finally starting to wake up. Now, folks, the Pentagon doesn't just go public unless the risk is real. Thank goodness we have President Trump as our president leading this effort. They're not talking about war in the air. They're talking about war in the wires, cyber war, infrastructure war, shadow war. And the sad truth is we're not ready, because the previous Biden administration has screwed things up so badly and left the door wide open that we may have multiple back doors already in our infrastructure that we have yet to identify. So now here's the part that the media really doesn't want you to see, the numbers. Because while Biden was hiding behind staffers and scripted teleprompters, the American people they're done. New polling came out, showed a collapse in public confidence in the Democratic Party, and it's not even close. Only 16% believe that the Democratic Party has strong leaders. Only 19% say that it's the party that gets things done. And get this, even among Democrats themselves, only 32% think that their party has any leadership. Now, guys, these are polls that are actually not very favorable to Republicans. These are polls that typically hate Trump. And they're saying this about Democrats, which is crazy. So that's a free fall. Even their own base is admitting it. This administration's weak. It's confused, the former administration, the Democrats are weak. They're confused. They're ineffective. And it's not just about the Democrats anymore, or it's not just about Biden anymore. It's like the entire Democratic structure that propped him up and protected him and lied to the public for 4 years. So now America is really at a crossroads. We've got a guy that was in office that was failing. We have a foreign adversary embedded in our infrastructure, and we have a military bracing for conflict. And we've got people that are finally waking up here. So we need to zoom out for a second. This is not just about one bad policy or one corrupt party or one weak president. This is about vulnerability, and America has never been more exposed. Now, we've allowed foreign nations to build our ports, power our homes, run our tech. And while they embedded kill switches into our systems, we embedded a man into the presidency who can't find his way out of a closet. Now, it's no longer a theory. China's threat is here, wired into our homes, our economy, our future. And instead of confronting it, our former leaders decided to cover it up. They covered it up. They denied it, mocked everybody who raised the alarm. You guys remember that, right? They gaslit America, guys. Let me be clear. There must be accountability. We need a full investigation into every Chinese manufactured panel, crane, chip inside our borders, a complete audit of our telecom networks, port systems, power grids, and most important of all, we need leadership like President Donald Trump that doesn't lie, doesn't forget, and doesn't fold under pressure. It's time. It's time to wake up and get serious, guys, because the next crisis won't come with sirens. It's going to come with silence. It's going to come lights out, systems offline, and no one in the White House answering the phone because the president, he couldn't even remember where the phone was. So are you ready for that? Well, thankfully, President Trump knows where the phone is, so we don't have to worry about that today. But we do have a big mess to clean up, unfortunately. Now, this expands politically, economically, and this is a huge Huge national security issue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have made it this far, you're not just watching the news, you're watching a part of a movement. MAGA is in the White House, and MAGA is actually cleaning up this mess. So do what they don't want you to do. Okay? Mainstream media, we know, is run by the radical left. They are their puppets. So do what they do not want you to do. Like this video, push it through the algorithm. Comment below, how do you think we secure America again? And most importantly, I want you to share this video with 3 people who still think that everything's okay. Because after today, you know it's not. So I'll see you guys on the next video.